Donald Trump is not even in office yet, and already the mass deportations are basically underway. I want you guys to hear what this sheriff out of Butler County has to say. Listen to this man real fast. Listen.
Actually go to the workplace and enforce immigration laws. We had it once before, but this president took it all away from all the sheriffs across the country. We house prisoners here. There's two 287Gs, one to hold prisoners, one to go out and enforce immigration laws. We were trained, we had the certification, and President Biden's administration took it all away from us. We're going to get that back. We've been in contact with ICE. So it gives us the authority to go out into the community, to go to the workplace, enforce these laws, and help the federal government do their job. And we're happy. We're getting geared up. We're making jail space available. And one thing I know about illegal immigration, I've been doing this 20 years, is when you start going out and enforcing and apprehending people that are here illegally and enforcing the laws where people work in these factories illegally, we've got citizens. I had a lady that came to me and was given information where these places are all over the United States. Sheriffs, there's 3,300 sheriffs in the United States. Each county, it's easier to deal with one local law enforcement in each county as it is thousands and thousands of police departments.
So here's the thing. Here's why this is such a big deal. Again, Donald Trump is not even in office yet, and you already have them talking about the fact that they are finding ways to go about the mass deportation that Donald Trump has been talking about. He ran his campaign on it. He talked about it, and it wasn't just, blowing smoke up the butts of the American people, unlike Joe Biden when he was running for, 5 seconds, and then Kamala Harris when she took over. All they did was empty promises, and even those promises were ones that they stole from Donald Trump or other Democrats, right? But Donald Trump has said since day one that he wants to close the border. He wants to have mass deportation so that illegal immigrants go back to whatever country they came from, because it's not fair for the U.S. to be footing the bill for all of these illegal immigrants, whether it's the housing cost, the food cost, the healthcare cost, because they're getting free healthcare, the cost of, we're paying for these kids to go to school. That's a difficult one for a lot of people because these are innocent children, and you don't want to say, well, screw those kids, right? Like, get them out of here too, because they're innocent. They didn't do this, right? The parents did this to them. But at the same time, you don't want to pull families apart. So you see these mass deportations happening, and full families are going to go. Tom Homan has already said that he doesn't want to tear families apart. He wants to deport the whole entire family. This is a very touchy subject for a lot of people because you feel bad kicking people out who have done nothing wrong, meaning the children, although their parents or whoever brought them here have done something wrong by being here illegally. It's one of those double-edged sword kind of things. But you have Donald Trump already reaching out to sheriffs and other people and saying, hey, listen, once I'm in January 20th, we're going to go ahead and start this crackdown because we need to get our country back under control. And you have so many sheriffs who are willing and able to go ahead and get the ball rolling because they want their towns back. They want their counties back, their states back. And under the Biden-Harris administration, there's nothing they could do. They can't deport people. ICE isn't allowed to do their job. None of these things. So a lot of people are very excited about this. It's going to be crazy. The fact that Donald Trump has made it, will make it once he is in office, that they can, according to this, that was Sheriff Richard Jones of Butler County, just announced that President Trump will grant sheriffs the power to raid workplaces to arrest and deport illegal migrant workers. Now, this is where it's a big deal because we saw over the last 4 years where the Biden-Harris administration was giving tax breaks and tax relief, I guess is the right word, to companies that were hiring these immigrants to help alleviate some of the work that needed to be done, right? And all that did, though, was make it so that American citizens were having a harder time getting a job. Tyson Manufacturing, the chicken plant, they closed down in one of the states. I want to say it was either Iowa or Ohio. They closed down one of their plants and they moved it somewhere else, and they hired all illegal immigrants to come in and work because they were getting a tax break from the federal government by doing so. But they laid off, I think it was 1,500 people in order to do this. 1,500 citizens who were relying upon that job to be able to put food on the table of their family, pay their mortgage or their rent, pay their car, pay their insurances, just in general live their lives. And instead they got basically shit canned so that this company could get cheaper labor and a cutback, or a cutback, I think might be the right word, of federal money funding in order to hire these illegal immigrants. The sheriffs now being able to go in, y'all, and go into these workplaces and raid these workplaces, it's going to make it so that the employers, whether it's small, medium, or big size employer, they're going to know what's coming, and they're not going to want the sheriffs and ICE and everybody else in their workplace pulling employees out, because it's not going to look good for their business. What that says to me is that they're going to go ahead and start getting rid of their illegal immigrant workers, the ones they're paying cash under the table, the ones they're giving 1099s to, although I'm not 1,000% sure you can give a 1099 to a full-on illegal immigrant. I think they have to have some sort of work visa for that. Either way, they'll be getting rid of a lot of people, which then opens those jobs back up for citizens to go in and get a job that need jobs. There are plenty of people out there who need to work and haven't been able to because the jobs aren't there, because they're being given to people who will take less money under the table, not worry about a 401k or healthcare or paid time off or any of that kind of stuff. The things that most people do want out of a job. But the fact that you're now going to have sheriffs going in and raiding these workplaces, it's going to make a huge difference in our economy, in our workforce in general. And I think it's going to be a good thing, personally. It's going to look like a shitstorm in the very beginning of everything. The news, of course, mainstream media is going to have it blasted all over the place of ICE and sheriffs and everybody else going in and pulling people out of works, and you're going to have women crying. Of course, they're going to show the women, they're going to show children crying, they're going to show the guys being upset, whatever else. But it's not like they're going to go back and say, well, look what we have now. Now we have citizens who are back in the workforce, able to work. Now we have these businesses who are following the laws. Now we have federal money that's going to other programs and other things that can help citizens, as opposed to funding these illegal immigrants, whether it's through their work or it's through their housing or their food or their transportation or whatever else. It's going to be a good thing. That is my personal opinion. So when I saw this, I thought to myself, you know what? Sheriff Richard Jones of Butler County, get to it, sir. Open up the jail cells. Put the people in there while you're working on deporting them. There is, of course, it's going to cost money to deport the illegal immigrants that have come in, but it's going to be cheaper in the long run than trying to continuously house and feed them over however much span of time. There are riots in New York right now because Mayor Eric Adams, he said that he's going to quit giving them the debit cards and quit funding them with food and places to sleep and stuff like that. And so there's been this massive backlash, and you have these illegal immigrants who are protesting in the street. You have other people jumping in and joining in. I'm sure Robert De Niro is out there running his mouth all about Eric Adams taking the money away. But it's like, that's our taxpayer money. Mine, not in New York. I'm not in New York. It's New Yorkers' taxpayer money. But at the same time, that is money that can go back towards helping the actual homeless population of New York, or the people who need some sort of help, even though they're working, but it's not enough, or people who are in shelters like domestic violence shelters or anything like that. It's great that some of these people are starting to step up and make changes when it comes to how they deal with this illegal immigration situation. With even Eric Adams stopping that money, again, it is going to cost the city of New York way less to deport them than it would be to continuously give them money, give them hotels to sleep in, give them the food, everything, the debit cards, all of it. It's way cheaper to deport than it is to continuously try to take care of these millions upon millions upon millions that are already here. Not to mention, if Donald Trump had not won, the border would have stayed open, even more millions and millions coming in. It would have killed our entire country if we had had 4 more years of a Biden-Harris or Harris-Walz administration who didn't believe in closed borders and who didn't believe in, people working for the things that they have. So personally, I am happy about everything that's already started, and it's not even January 20th yet. I think the next 4 years are going to be amazing. We're going to see a very big change, not in just our economy, but our housing situation, with a little bit of everything, because once you start deporting people and you're able to save those billions billions of dollars that have been spent, and you're able to then turn it around and use it to better the cities that they were overrunning, whether it was sleeping in the streets or taking up all of the shelter space or the hotel space. Now you can use those hotels for people who want to visit the area because it's not overrun with illegal immigrants and crime and unhoused people, right? You're going to have those hotels you can rent out. That brings money to the city. The tourists will bring money to the city by going to the stores, the restaurants, everything else. It's going to be a really good thing. So for anybody who's worried about the fact that ICE is going to be raiding businesses, as long as your business is doing the correct thing and doing the right thing, you have nothing to worry about. So now's your chance to go ahead and get cool and clean and whatever, and make sure you don't have any illegal immigrants hiding in the woodwork of your business, and you'll be fine when the sheriffs start running through. So that was it. I saw it, thought it was great, and wanted to bring it to your attention, Squirrel Tribe. So until the next one, I love you guys. Bye.